happy, 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 happy Monday. Happy Monday. Happy, 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 happy Monday. Happy Monday. Happy, happy, happy Monday. Okay, I needed to make that brighter because that was looking too dim for me. Happy Monday. Happy, happy Monday. I pray that you all have had a phenomenal day. I pray that you're well. I pray that your families are well. I pray that you made the most of your day. I pray that you smiled more than you were frustrated. I pray that you laughed more than you were angry. Matter of fact, I pray that you weren't angry. I pray that you had a fantastic day. So, good evening and welcome to the Dr. JaNee Mobley channel. My name is Dr. JaNee Mobley. I'm affectionately known as Dr. JaNee, and I help women turn their purpose, their God given gifts and talents into a profitable business, all while overcoming mindsets that will prevent profit, progress, and prosperity. So let's get started. Welcome to Transformational Mondays. Transformational Mondays is all about the scripture that tells us that be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. And as a coach, one of the first areas in my system and going through the academy, and if you all would like to learn more about me, make sure you head on over to drjanee.net/mistakes and get your free gift and experience even more greatness, right? So if you haven't already, make sure you share this live broadcast. Make sure you send it to about 2 or 3 people. And what else was I going to say? And make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. So, what was I going to say? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and talk about tonight's topic. I'm going to be honest with y'all. Can I be transparent? In my journey of building my business, I currently work a full-time job. So let's kind of give you a little background. I am, of course, I am a wife. I'm a mom. I work a full-time job, and I'm in philanthropy, right? I'm a philanthropist. My dear friend and I have started a nonprofit organization where we award scholarships. Just to kind of give you all, good evening, William, just to kind of give you all a little bit about me. If you all haven't, make sure you share this live broadcast. Make sure if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel. We're going to be really brief tonight, but welcome. So just to kind of give you all where this comes from, tonight we're going to be talking about how to elevate your mind so that you can elevate your business. And I'm going to share with you all 3 ways that you can up level your mindset so that you can increase your business. Great. I'm so glad that you have already. So let's go ahead and get started. So number 1, how do we begin to up level our mindset? Number 1, here's the thing. Focus is everything. And one of the key areas that I always focus on when I am working with clients in the academy is mindset. And I want you, and the reason why is this: if you look at mindset, and I've shared this with you all before, if you've been following me or you have watched me for a while, mindset, we know, is a compound word. It's mind and then there is set. So when you put the 2 words together, we have mindset. So let's put these words into perspective. Set is a position or a place, and your mind includes your belief systems. It includes your way of thinking. It determines how you begin to execute. So when you put mind and set together, it is your level, your position, your set way of thinking. And if you're wondering why you haven't achieved the level of success, whether in your relationships, whether in your business, whether in your finances, you have to think about the position or the place or the set of your way of thinking. You got to think about what you are thinking about. Right? One of the things that I'll be honest with you all, and for those of you all who are in entrepreneurship, trust me, I'm sure you can understand this. Our way of thinking is everything, right? Our perception, our way of thinking. And here's the thing. I'm sure you all have heard this phrase that says your beliefs determine your actions and your actions determine your results. So just to make sure and we drive this home, your way of thinking will determine how you begin to execute or whether you do not execute. See, all of us can say that we want a particular goal, or we want to reach a specific goal, or we want to accomplish something. But your way of thinking will determine whether you will begin to execute or implement the necessary steps or take the actions to get the results that you say that you desire. I remember at the beginning of my entrepreneur journey, I was saying the results that I wanted. However, my mind, the position of my way of thinking, did not believe that I could actually achieve the very words that were coming out of my mouth. So, what was happening was that mindset, that way of thinking, was then what was driving my non actions. See, if you are one who believes in affirmations, affirmations is great, but what is the use of speaking a thing if you're not going to execute? You can say all day long that you want to earn a specific amount of money, but if you are not doing or taking the necessary measures so that you can get the result that you desire, or the goal, or accomplish the goal that you desire, what you're saying matters not. So, mindset number one, I want to give you all the first shift. I want you, if you want to up level your business, if you want to elevate your mindset so that you can elevate your business, number one, focus on faithfulness. Focus on faithfulness. Dr. JaNee, what do you mean? We live in a day and age where everybody is on the internet. Everybody wants to be an influencer. Everybody is making money. But here is the thing. What will cause you to have long-standing success is your faithfulness. Is you continuing to show up and grow along the way. One of the brands that I like to watch and I observe is McDonald's. McDonald's has been around for years, right? For decades, right? And one of the things that I have observed about McDonald's is that they're very consistent. They're consistent in their systems, they're consistent in their brands. If you look at certain franchises, if I go from Georgia or to New York, the food is the same. Right? The brand is the same. The service is the same. They are consistent in the way that they show up in the marketplace. They are faithful to the very thing that they're executing. So if you want to make sure that you up level your mindset so that you can up level your business, you have to make sure that you focus on being faithful. You got to show up even when nobody is there. I can't tell you how many times that I've been on YouTube and sorry, y'all, I cannot stand fruit flies and I just got distracted. It's just that quick, right? I can't tell you how many times that I have shown up on live on YouTube and nobody was there. But guess what? I still show up. Because here's the thing, I remember, and I'm going to share this with you all. Patrice Washington, who has a podcast on, but you find her, Patrice Washington, right? I'll never forget. She said something that has stuck with me and it will probably stick with me forever. And she has a very successful podcast. She has been doing podcasts for a very long time. And she said, you would not know how many times people pitch me to be on my podcast. And she said, one of the things that she does is that she will then go to that individual's social media page, look them up just to see how they are showing up on social media. And what she said was astoundingly surprising to me. She said that she would go to the same individuals who would pitch her to be on her podcast, only to go to their social media page and have crickets. They weren't showing up. They weren't posting. They weren't going live. They weren't sharing content. And the very thing that she said was, how can I expect you to show up and provide value on my podcast when you can't even be faithful to yours? And that has stuck with me for all of this time. You show up even when you don't think nobody is looking. You post even when nobody likes your post or nobody hearts your post or nobody shares your post. Don't get discouraged if you are an entrepreneur and you're sharing content and you're sharing value and nobody is responding. I'm going to tell you this. A lot of the times people do not react. A lot of the times people do not respond, but they see your content. I can't tell you how many times people have told me, oh, I see your content. Your content always pops up on my page. But those people may not always like or comment or react to what I just shared. And here is the thing. You want to be faithful. Think about if you are spending your money, right? You want to invest or put your money in a brand that is faithful, that is consistent, that is there even when times get tough. You want to make sure that you are that very brand that shows up and that is dependable, even when nobody else is looking. And here is one of the things that I always keep in mind that makes me show up, even if I don't feel like it. If I've had a full day at work, if I've come home and cooked dinner, which was one of those days, and this is why I'm on YouTube at 9:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I realize it's not about me. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel and share this live. It's not about me. I want you to understand that your purpose, that your gift is not about you. It is so much bigger than you. If you could get just a smidgen of an understanding of what your purpose is about, I always tell my clients that you are a problem. I want you to understand this. You are a problem solver. I don't care what industry you're in. I don't care what specialty you have. You are a problem solver. I want you to see yourself as being the solution to somebody's problem. I don't care how much you have minimized it. You have a solution to somebody's problem. Because here is the thing. We all have solutions. We all do. And here's the great thing about it. God has gifted each and every one of us with the gift so that we can be a solution to each other's problem. So the reason why you must show up is because somebody is looking for the solution that you have that will solve their problem. Here's another thing. People pay for solutions. Look at you personally. We pay for solutions every day. So make sure that you're faithful. Focus on being faithful. Showing up even when you don't think nobody is there. If you are one who goes to trade shows, go to trade shows, market yourself, go to chamber events, show up on social media, host master classes, partner with people. Here's the other thing, pitch to people. One of the greatest things that you could ever do is be consistent on social media. And I'm going to tell you all why. When we look at algorithms, see, years ago when Facebook first started out as the head social media platform, algorithm wasn't a thing. But now algorithms are the way that you become most prevalent and present to people that you want to see your content most often. And the way that algorithms work in your favor is through consistency and through social interaction, which requires that you show up and also requires that you interact with people who comment and respond to the things that you post. But the way that social media is set up right now, if you are not consistent with content, guess what? Nobody's going to see your content. So make sure that you have a mindset of focusing on being faithful, even when nobody is watching. Number 2, focus on progress instead of perfection. We want to be perfect. We want everything to be absolutely perfect. If you're one of those, I want you to put perfect in the comments. You want everything to be absolutely perfect before you start something. You've had this book idea. You've had this nonprofit idea. You've had this business idea. And you've yet to show up and show up consistently because you want everything to be perfect. The reality of it is this. God told, and I don't remember exactly that scripture, but he says that he'll perfect that which concerns us. Our job is not to be perfect. Our job is to implement. Our job is to do the thing. Here's the thing, and this is a revelation that God gave me. The Bible tells us that faith without works is dead, which tells me this, that I can believe or say I believe all day long. But if I don't implement, I won't have any life to the very thing that I want to achieve. So if you want there to be production, if you want there to be a positive result for the things that you are seeking, you must believe and you must do the work. You must take action. You must implement consistently, even when nobody is looking. Implementation has to be your friend. One of the things that I have observed about very successful people in entrepreneurship, execution is their thing. They have perfected executing. I'm going to tell you a quick story about maybe not, I don't even think it's been a whole 90 days. Dollar, I think, what is it called? A DG Market, which is like a Dollar General Market or their form of a bigger grocery store, started building not too far from where I live, right? And I promise y'all, I don't even think it took a whole 60 days. The building was up. They had a coming soon sign, right? And I was sitting there thinking to myself, this brand understands execution. They understand that the longer that they wait to execute, the longer it's going to take to open the doors, the longer then it's going to take to get customers into the door, and the longer that it's ultimately going to take for them to generate revenue, the longer that it's going to take for them to make a profit. You have to master execution. And trying to be perfect the first time will cause you to be in delay. And be careful because perfection can be a form of a distraction. Don't get distracted in trying to be perfect. Now, you don't want to just put junk out there, but you do want to make sure that you spend more time doing and implementing and getting it done more than you do getting ready. The content that you have, put it out there. Focus on progress, not perfection. And here's the thing. What is progress? It is literally you taking necessary steps in not even so much a sequential order that will get you to an ultimate result. But you got to take the action. You have to implement. You can have the idea in your mind for years, but if you do nothing with it, what does it matter? Remember, your gift is so much bigger than you, but your gift matters not, and it benefits no one if people do not know anything about it. So your focus needs to be on execution. And here is the thing. The more that you execute, 9 times out of 10, the more excellent you will become. You're not going to get it perfectly right the first time. But if you do it and then you do it again, you're going to figure out, okay, there's a better way of doing this. And then when you do it again, you're going to be like, okay, well, this worked. Well, this didn't work. Let me add this piece and let me do it again. And the more you do it, you're going to fine tune it. You're going to get better. It's just like watching a baby walk. They stand up on their feet, they wobble, they waddle a little bit, and sometimes they fall. But do they give up? No. And this lets me know that the way that God created us, He gave us the spirit of willingness and determination to never give up. What happens to people in life is that life happens. And you listen and come into agreement with the negative stories that people have said to you, or the experiences that you have encountered, and you allow those to derail you. But I challenge you in the face of adversity to have the mindset that I will still advance and be determined even in the midst of the storm. So you want to focus on progress, not perfection. What is it that you can execute right now and consistently that will yield you the results in your business that you so desire? Number three is be patient in the process. And this is one of my favorites, and because this is something that I learned, right? Being patient for me requires vulnerability. It requires me to surrender. And what does that mean? I realized and I discovered about myself that I had an issue with control. Like I wanted to be in control. So much to the point where I wanted it to go my way. And if it didn't, I was getting frustrated. And that was one of the reasons why I used to stop and start, because I wasn't seeing the results that I wanted to see. So I used to give up. Right. But I'm learning on the journey to through entrepreneurship that you got to be patient in the process. And when you look at processes are required for perfection. Processes are required for producing whatever the result is. Think about a vegetable or fruit. You do not want it before it's ready. It interferes with the taste, it interferes with the texture. Even when you think about some proteins, you don't want certain proteins that are not completely done. Why? Because they can have different bacteria in it if they're not fully cooked. So embrace the process. What does that look like? Being patient through the process. Understanding that you don't really have any control over the result, but you have control over the action steps that you take that will ultimately lead to the result. So, as an example, you may have a certain income goal that you desire. Well, you work from the place of from the goal. If I want to make X amount of dollars in my business, what products or what services product do I have right now? And how many of those products do I need to sell in order to yield this particular income? Well, once you identify how many you need to sell, then you must identify how long does it typically take me to sell one? If it takes me to go through 10 people to sell one of my products and I need to sell 10 of them, then I know I need to talk to 100 people. So your focus needs to be on taking action to communicate whatever products that you serve or sharing your product with 100 people that will hopefully get you to your goal. But you don't have any control over the result, but you have control over the action steps that you take. Be patient in the process. Understand, here's the thing. You're being made, you're being molded, you are being strengthened in your process and in your journey. Don't rush your process. You want to be at your best, but if you rush your process, then you actually can interfere with the perfection that God is trying to do in you. One thing that I understand, who you are today is not the same person that you will be in your business a couple of years from now. So even if, let's just say, you're not seeing the results that you desire, right? One of the questions that you want to ask yourself is, what do I need to learn right now? What do I need to learn? What do I need to improve? How can I improve? What areas about me do I need to perfect? So I'll give you all an example for me. I know for me, I had to learn to master being organized and having order in my business. So what I started doing is I started having morning meetings. Like I literally have it set up in my phone at 8, I think I have it for 8:20 to have a morning meeting. What do I do in my morning meeting? I identify, because I do a reel every day or a short every day. So what is my short going to be about today? Right? If I need to follow up with, who do I need to follow up with? What content am I going to create? Thursdays for me are all about pitching for podcasts. So I had to create order. And this is something that needed to be perfected in me in order for me to go to my next level. See, if I rushed all the way to the top and acquired the level of success that I wanted and I wasn't ready, then everything that I desired was going to fall apart because I lacked order. One thing that I've learned about leadership is that you can't lead others until you lead yourself. until you get yourself in harmony, until you get yourself in order. You cannot expect to grow a team of people if if you're not focused on your personal growth. So number one, how do you up level your mindset so that you can increase your entrepreneurial success? Number one, focus on being faithful. Show up even when nobody is watching, because here's the thing, you don't know who's watching you. I remember one day I went on Instagram and I had like quite a bit of reactions. Here's the thing, it was the same person with who went through different shorts that I posted. Now, I can't verify that that person watched each and every one of those particular reels that I posted, but here's the thing, they paid attention. You don't know who's watching you, who will go back to your content, binge watch it just to see what if you are faithful with what you committed to. This is one of the reasons, and that's another reason. The first reason that I show up is I realize that it's not about me. Hi, Doreen. It's good to see you. So good to see you. Right? So you got to make sure that you show up and be faithful. You don't know who is watching you. And here's the thing. In the Bible, in the book of Genesis, Joseph, and this is another reason that that pushes me. You don't know who's going to tell who about you. So Joseph, for those of you who are, and I'm talking about brother Joseph, Joseph, the coat with many colors, Joseph. The way that Joseph was freed from being in prison was that somebody told Pharaoh about Joseph's gift. I'm going to say that again. Joseph became free by somebody telling King Pharaoh, I can't remember which one of the two it was, about Joseph's gift. What am I saying? You don't know who's watching you that will then go tell somebody else how amazing you are. But if you are not showing up, you give them nothing to tell. So be focused on being faithful with your gift. Number two, on how you up level your mindset to increase your entrepreneurial success. Number two, focus on progress, not perfection. Remember, God committed to perfecting you, not you perfecting you. And you can't expect to be perfect at first. After you do whatever it is that you do in your industry a few times, guess what? You're going to tighten it up. You're going to improve it. So focus on progress, not perfection. And lastly, number three, be patient in the process. Embrace what you're learning. If you're not making any money initially, your goal is, what should I be learning right now? How can I prepare for the growth that I so desire? Because here's the thing, you want to be ready when the growth comes. You don't want to be getting ready. You want to be able to accommodate the influx and the flow of new clients and customers. You don't want to be scrambling trying to figure things out. So be patient with your process and identify how you can become better. I appreciate you all for watching. If this has helped you in any way, make sure you leave a positive comment. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so that anytime that I am live, you join me. Also, hit up drjanee.net /5 mistakes to get your access to the 5 mistakes that women make that prevent them from profiting from their purpose. You all have a phenomenal evening, and remember to know your worth. Good night, y'all. Bye.